Lagasse Stadium to preview two big games on the schedule. Joe Fortenbaugh, welcome back to Get Sharp, everybody. Joined again by our guy Chuck Esposito.
Joe.
Chuck, always a pleasure. We are here at beautiful Lagasse Stadium at the Palazzo Resort, also attached to the Venetian property where Chuck is kind of the man around here, always between the two properties as we see. Big game we're going to talk about at 4:15 today that might not stand out to a lot of people, but it stands out for one glaring reason to us. 7-4 Dallas, coming in on extra rest, a nice win over Miami on Thanksgiving, travels to 4-7 Arizona to take on the Cardinals. In most situations, you'd probably look at this game and say Dallas should win. Hell, they've been winning a lot of games as of late. But the game opens, Dallas minus 6.5. It's moved down about 2 points towards Arizona, but the public's betting the Cowboys. Does this look like a trap game to you?
It does. You look at this game and you say mismatch. Dallas is that public team. They came off the win on Thanksgiving. The Cardinals, however, have won the last two games in this series. And remember one thing, though, when you say trap, the Cowboys have the Giants next week on Sunday Night Football. So are they looking ahead to that big game? They play the Giants next week. They play them again week 17 in New York. So those are the much bigger games. And you look at the Cardinals, though, they're 0-4 against teams with winning records. Of course, as we know, the Cowboys have a winning record. I think it's the Cowboys' division to lose with the struggles the Giants have had of late, losing 3 in a row and playing the Packers this weekend.
What about the Eagles? Are you counting them out?
I'm counting them out, Joe. I'm sorry, but I'm counting them out at 4-8. I don't think they get in at 8-8.
Well, at least they kept it close Thursday night against Seattle. That was an absolute disaster. Arizona has done a nice job lately. They've covered a lot of spreads. I believe it's 4 out of the last 5. But a lot of that's been with John Skelton, second-year quarterback out of Fordham. Kevin Cobb expected to be back for this game here in Week 13.
He is.
Is that an improvement to the offense at this point?
I think it is. I think you look at Skelton, and I don't think he's their long-term answer. I still think they want to see what Cobb has, and maybe that pushed Cobb just a little bit. Now that he's back, see if he can get that same rapport with Fitzgerald. Although Beanie Wells has been banged up all year, he has a big game, so maybe they can get the running game going. I like this matchup. It's an old NFC East rivalry between the Cardinals and Cowboys. They're going to bring back some memories of yesterday. I think it's a great matchup.
Arizona's been a house of horrors for the Cowboys over the last 10 to 15 years. They've always had some trouble going into Arizona, especially back as rivals. We think of the Jake Plummer years,
Absolutely.
Ruining some playoff opportunities late in the season. We're in the 13th week. Is it strange to see a line move 2 or 3 points at this time of year? Early in the season we see it, but now sides only move maybe a half point to a point in most situations. So there's no big injury in this game. Is that kind of strange to see?
I actually think it's not. I think as the season progresses, I think you have more of the potential for a line to move a couple of points because there is other factors. If a team's playing for something or not, they're looking at who they just played, who they have coming up, if it's a kind of a trap game. I think there's a lot more factors now than there is early on, so it's not surprising to me at all that you may see the sharps are sophisticated on one side and the public backing the other. The public is always going to back those popular teams, those 6 or 7 teams that they back week in and week out. The Cowboys are one of those teams, yet the sharps look at this game and think there's some value on the Cardinals, especially when that number was a little higher.
Quick fantasy side, who do you like more in this game, DeMarco Murray or Beanie Wells?
I like DeMarco Murray. I think the Cowboys are going to come into this game a little bit more balanced. I think they're going to be able to shut down Beanie Wells a little bit with their defense. I think their front 7 is a lot better than Arizona's front 7. I think DeMarco Murray's the lock here as far as fantasy goes.
Do you think there's a lot of people that are probably in survivor pools that could be eyeing up Dallas in this situation? We talked about a potential trap game. Should this be something, in your opinion, people keep an eye on, that it might not be as easy as people think for the Cowboys to win this?
Absolutely. As we said earlier, they've lost 2 in a row there. It's been a house of horrors for them. And again, you look at a lot of teams that have a big game coming up, and they may come into this game a little bit flat or looking past the Cardinals because they do have that big showdown on Sunday night with the Giants a week from today.
Beware of the Cardinals on, it's funny to say
Can't
that
believe we're saying it.
but beware of the Cardinals, everybody. Mr. Esposito, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
your
Joe.
time. As always, everyone enjoy the games this weekend. Chuck and I will be back to preview the Lions and the Saints, 8:30 p.m. Sunday night. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the games.